on. Obviously, to some extent, I mean, hell, y'all were asking me questions. It seemed like it got personal on their hands. So, like, that's why I wasn't surprised. If nothing would have been done, we'd sit here and y'all still would have been asking me whether he was playing in a couple of days or when he was going to be playing. That would be a lot more of a headache and distraction than getting a solution to it. I know adding a guy like Kenny Clark, adding a true leader, a real man that's going to only elevate this team, who's been a Pro Bowl player and is excited about being here.
Sam Acho is still with us, and NFL insider Dan Graziano joins us right now. And Dan, we just heard from Dak Prescott. What are you hearing about how the Cowboys defense is preparing for Week 1 without Micah Parsons on that field?
Yeah, I mean, interesting. He didn't really participate in any training camp practices, so they've been preparing all month without him. And, you know, obviously you'd rather have Micah Parsons if you're going up against the Super Bowl champs on Thursday night. But the Cowboys defense under new coordinator Matt Eberflus, was installed this offseason, and Micah Parsons wasn't a big-time participant. So the Dallas coaches feel good about the way the guys who have been practicing have taken to the new system, and they feel like they're in a good place with it. They did get Deron Bland, one of their star cornerbacks, signed to an extension over the weekend. So they're really just kind of going on about the rest of their business after the seismic events of late last week.
Yeah, and Dak Prescott alluded to it right there. He said that it's been a bit of a distraction with those questions. Sam, without Parsons, how do you see the Cowboys matching up against the defending Super Bowl champs on Thursday night, the Eagles?
Well, I think they have a better opportunity, not just because without Micah Parsons, but because the addition of Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is one of the most dominant run stoppers on the interior in the NFL. And what is the Philadelphia Eagles' strength? It's to run the ball. What was the Dallas Cowboys' weakness? It was against the run. Kenny Clark helped this Green Bay Packers defense to be one of the better defenses against the run during his tenure as a Packer. He plays with great hands, great violence, and also can rush the quarterback as well. When Philly was at their best, they were top #1 in running the ball last year. Even Nick Sirianni's first year, they're top #1 and #2 when it came to running the ball. Dallas has struggled in that area with Kenny Clark and also Matt Eberflus. They will be significantly better.
Yeah, and there's another game Friday night where the Chiefs will play the Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Patrick Mahomes spoke yesterday on one of the biggest challenges ahead of Friday. Take a listen.
The trainers and coaches have really done the research, and they understand what we need to do. So now it's just going down there and playing football. And I think more than anything, it was just explaining to some guys how far the trip was. Some guys didn't understand how far the travel was. Travis, even though he just was down there like last year. So I was just explaining to him how the globe works.
Not Travis catching strays. I'm sure that Travis understands how the globe works, but, those two are always joking with each other. Dan, we know there were offseason questions regarding the Chiefs' offense, specifically with that offensive line. How are the Chiefs feeling about that offense heading into the season and Week 1?
Yeah, you mentioned the offensive line. That's the key. Can the rookie Josh Simmons hold down the left tackle spot right away? He was their first-round pick for a reason, and so far, my understanding is he's been everything they hoped he would be. That moves Kingsley Suamataia, who did not play well at left tackle last year, inside the left guard. That's the area to focus on. Look, they're going to be without Rashee Rice, their top wide receiver, to start the season because of a suspension, but at least they know when he's coming back. Hollywood Brown back and healthy. Xavier Worthy entering year 2. Isaiah Pacheco, the running back and healthy. They feel pretty good about the offense, but a lot will be determined by how those two guys on the left side of the offensive line handle it.
Yeah, the Chiefs getting some key pieces on that offense back. Acho, what are you eyeing in this matchup down there in Brazil?
I'm eyeing the Chiefs. Really, Patrick Mahomes in the running game as a quarterback, using the quarterback run versus the Chargers defense. Chargers last year had the #1 defense in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, even in the preseason, you saw him be quicker to tuck it and run. If the #1 defense is taking away your targets, let's say Derwin James is taking away or slowing down Travis Kelce, Mahomes is going to have a better opportunity to use his legs as a quarterback. So I'm going to watch what is taken away from Kansas City and then what Mahomes does with his legs.
And so, Acho, on Sunday you said on SportsCenter that the Cowboys will start their season 3-0. Some people thought you were out your mind. The Chiefs have a tough start to their schedule. Chargers in Brazil, then facing the Eagles, and then back on the road for the Giants. What's a bold prediction that you have for the Chiefs to start this season?
I think Kansas City might lose their first game versus the Chargers, but I think they will end up being 2-1. The Chargers, we talked about their defense, and I understand they lost both games. Chargers did to Kansas City last year, but they're going to keep the game low scoring. You have Josh Simmons starting at left tackle. Also, Kingsley Suamataia didn't do great in the preseason, at least his first couple games. So I think there's an opportunity for the Chargers to steal one early versus the Chiefs.
Graz, what do you think about that right there from Acho?
Yeah, it's very reasoned. I'd like to revisit the 3-0 Cowboys from the other day. I'm interested to, because that's a real against the grain take there. 2-1 Chiefs. I don't think we're surprised.
Acho, explain yourself with that one real quick.
So we talked about it. Let's look at the offensive line of Philadelphia. They're starting, well, number one, Landon Dickerson, left guard, coming off an injury. You have another guard, Tyler Steen, as well, first-time starter. Kenny Clark put him in there. But also week 2, you got the New York Giants. There's a lot of question marks in New York. I think that the Cowboys could win that game. And then the Chicago Bears. We're excited about Caleb Williams, but there was some struggle with the Chicago Bears, at least last season, even in the preseason. So I think there's a good chance, and I still believe that 3-0 was very realistic for Dallas. Now, later on in the season might struggle, but at least early on, I think it's going to be their strength.
Graz, I feel like you're buying it now. We'll revisit it. I'll ask you in the break if you're really still buying the Cowboys starting 3-0. Guys, thanks so much. We'll see you a little bit later on in the show.
Against TCU, that game on ESPN. To the mouth of the South, Paul Feinbaum joins us now. So, Paul, as you know, there are a lot of questions about Bill Belichick's transition into college football. How do you think that he will adapt?
I think he will adapt well, Christine. He spent 6 months last year at the University of Washington, where his son coaches, and he was studying college football as he was a freshman in college. And being as bright as any coach we've ever seen, there's no doubt he went to school on that, and it has paid off. And I don't think he'll have a great team. It will be a struggle tonight, but he certainly understands the nuances of the game, and I believe very strongly he understands the portal and NIL.
You said that it will be a struggle tonight, so they have the Horned Frogs tonight. In your eyes, what makes TCU tough to beat?
Well, I think that the issue is you have a TCU team coached by Sonny Dykes. Remember 3 years ago, they played for the national championship. They're cohesive. They have experience. They've had some ups and downs since that night in Los Angeles. Together almost everything from scratch. And he has so many new players that could be an issue under the bright lights.
Yeah, also a proven quarterback at TCU, a new quarterback there at UNC. Shifting over to last night's matchup, number 6 Notre Dame at number 10 Miami. Paul, what were your observations in Miami's win over Notre Dame?
Number one observation, I should have listened to you, but instead I boldly went with my own. I really liked Carson Beck. He was outstanding last night, and I think that was good for him because he needed some confidence. Some of that was shattered last year at Georgia when he didn't really have great skill positions around him or people around him like he had the previous year. But he showed he can throw the ball well, he can operate in a vacuum, and I really think Miami now is in excellent shape to make a serious run at the playoffs. And on the other hand, I don't know if Notre Dame is going to lose again. They lost one game last year to NIU and ran the table until the championship game, and I don't see anybody on that schedule that can beat them. I think Southern Cal would be the most difficult game. Boise State looked tough until the other night when they laid an egg down in Florida.
All I know, Paul, is I'm very glad that you're wrong. I know you're hesitant to say the U is back, but I will say it for you. The U is back, baby. Paul Feinbaum, thank you.
Thank you.